So like,
no, two-time unified heavyweight champion. So far, so good.
oh, with boxing, yeah, 100%. But what I'm saying now is, there's another level of fitness.
Yeah.
You guys wanted me to go bigger? How about twice as big?
You're right. If Anthony Joshua to do what he done to Ngannou, to Jake Paul, that's like life-changing injuries.
Anthony Joshua has left fans in shock with a terrifying new physique that looks built for pure destruction. He's leaner, more defined, and more explosive than we've seen in years. AJ's physical transformation has become a major talking point in the boxing world, sending shockwaves across social media and delivering a cold, direct warning to Jake Paul. From his rock-solid shoulders to that powerful, confident stance that reminds everyone of his early championship run, Joshua's new look isn't just for show, it's a statement.
Only way we're gonna win a 12-round fight is if you push yourself in the gym. So, yeah, that's what I like about the world-class boxing gym.
Everyone says they want to be a world champ, but people are not willing to do what it takes to become a world champ. And even in this gym, it's like you put through the test, because I mean, it's one thing to say you want to hang out with champs and hang out with other fighters, another thing to be able to endure the workout and endure the work, so it's a big thing. He's been pushing himself. He's asking me, what can I do more? How can I be better? How can I build my fitness more? And that's really a sign of a great individual and a great champion. Someone who really...
Joshua has made it clear this new size and shape didn't appear overnight. He says it's simply his natural genetics, and all he does is put in the hard work to bring it out. According to him, that raw, natural power, once fully switched on in camp, can be dangerous for anyone who dares to stand opposite him in the ring. And with Jake Paul lined up as the next target, Joshua isn't bulking up for aesthetics. He's unlocking what was already there. And once those shots start landing, that could spell serious danger for Jake.
A lot of road work. So even though I'm big, this is just genetics.
Right, definitely, yeah.
It's not like I spend hours in the gym like lifting. You can't run 10 miles and only spar 4 rounds. You have to run 4 miles and spar 10 rounds. Yeah, like what I'm trying to say is gym work's important with your coach. All this stuff is just the core stuff, this stuff is just the extra add-ons that you're gonna get. But you have to have good technique, you have to have a good understanding of boxing. Like, that's your muscle, your brain. That's what a coach is gonna train you mostly. Like, he wants to train this. And if you've got that at its strongest, yeah, I feel like you'll be good.
And so far, so good for AJ.
Jake Paul himself has openly admitted there's a massive size difference between him and Anthony Joshua. But instead of being intimidated, he's using it as motivation. Jake says that for years people told him to fight someone his own size, so he decided to go even further and pick someone nearly twice as big. He's framing this fight as the ultimate challenge, proof that he's not scared of risk, criticism, or the intense spotlight that comes with stepping in against a heavyweight monster like Joshua. In Jake's mind, if people really want to question his legitimacy, then facing a giant is the perfect way to answer. Still, even with all his bravado, that huge physical gap brings a level of danger that even he can't completely ignore.
You guys wanted me to go bigger? How about twice as big? Literally, he's twice as big as Gervonta. He's 6'6", 260 pounds with an 82-inch reach. I mean, just look at us next to each other. Two-time heavyweight champion of the world, an Olympic gold medalist. While he was winning Olympic gold, I was filming Vines in high school. What'd you say? AJ is a knockout artist with fights that have literally ended in seconds. He's fought legends, Klitschko, Usyk, Ruiz, Ngannou.
Biggest shot I have.
When you break down the tale of the tape for Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, the mismatch becomes obvious and could heavily influence how this fight plays out. Joshua measures in at 6 feet 6 inches with an 82-inch reach and a natural heavyweight frame, typically weighing well over 240 pounds. Jake Paul, standing around 6 feet 1 inch with a 76-inch reach and roughly 200 pounds, is giving up significant height, reach, and overall mass. Joshua's longer reach lets him control the range, making it much tougher for Jake to step in without eating shots. The weight advantage means AJ's punches carry a completely different level of stopping power, while Paul will have to depend on speed, angles, and timing. If Joshua applies his physical tools smartly, this could turn into a brutally one-sided, physically overwhelming night for Jake.
Looking at the age difference, we've got 28 years old compared to 36 years old. So I guess the advantage there goes a little bit towards Jake Paul. 28-year-old is better than a 36-year-old. But that being said, we've got talking about experience and everything else, what comes with being 36 years old at Anthony Joshua's level. And then, like I mentioned, the heavyweights kind of seem to prime a little bit older. They'll come down to the height and the weight. This is the big one. 6'1" versus 6'6". 200 pounds versus 252 pounds. We got a 252 pounder in Anthony Joshua. The reach advantage is a lot, which we would expect. Amateur fights, we can see that Jake's only had one, where AJ's had 43, but 43 of them are including at the highest level, Olympic level. And yes, he won the Olympic bloody gold medal, if I don't need to remind you. Then the pro record, Jake Paul has had 13 fights, lost one. AJ has had 28 fights and he's lost 4, 25 KOs. And the one person that Jake Paul lost to was Tommy Fury. Now, can we compare Tommy Fury with Anthony Joshua?
Looking once again at the tail of the tape, the size difference between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul really stands out and could be the key factor in this fight. Joshua is 6 feet 6 inches with an 82-inch reach and a naturally big heavyweight build, comfortably over 240 pounds. Paul, at about 6 feet 1 inch with a 76-inch reach and around 200 pounds, is at a serious disadvantage in height, wingspan, and strength. AJ's extra reach gives him the ability to dictate distance, forcing Jake to take risks just to get close enough to land. That extra weight means Joshua's shots are far more damaging, while Paul will need to rely on quicker feet and sharp counterpunching. If Joshua uses his size the right way, he could make this a physically draining and punishing experience for Jake from start to finish.
To the people who say Anthony is ruining his legacy just by taking this fight.
Fans don't respect what he's done in the sport already. He's an Olympic gold medalist, 2-time unified heavyweight champion of the world.
I sort of sympathize with him because I feel like if he doesn't beat him quicker than he beat Francis, people are just going to write it off. I'll ask you bluntly, have there been any discussions about there's an agreement, there's a secret contract? Have any of those discussions happened regarding this fight?
It's an 8-round professional fight. AJ wouldn't have taken it if that was the stance it had to be, if it was an exhibition, if it was you've got to hold him up for 8 rounds. It wouldn't suit Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is going in.
Matchroom Boxing CEO Frank Smith has been pretty measured when talking about the idea of Anthony Joshua facing Jake Paul. He hasn't completely shut the door on the matchup, but in an interview on the Ariel Helwani show, he said that while Joshua's return is very likely, it probably won't be against Jake Paul just yet. Smith has pointed out the massive difference in pedigree, noting that Paul's path in boxing is nothing like Joshua's, who has been fighting top-level opposition for years. Still, Smith has admitted that talks about a potential Paul fight are ongoing for early 2026, hinting that Matchroom is open to capitalizing on the hype, even if he keeps a realistic outlook on how unpredictable the sport and its business can be.
I asked that because I remember when Tyson fought Ngannou the first time, he was like, this isn't my cup of tea, and then obviously he ended up fighting Ngannou, and so I didn't know if this was a bridge too far for him.
No, I think for AJ it was just, look, he's done everything in the sport. Like I say, he's a 2-time unified champion. He's fought the best, the elite fighters in Alexander Usyk twice, and for him it's just right. I want to do things that interest me, motivate me, and obviously if you can go and do that for a load of money against someone, fair play. I think me and Jake Paul might be more competitive than Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua.
Oh my dear.
I actually want to make as the comeback fight for Jake Paul, Eddie Hearn, Jake Paul.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't you think that would be big? As the comeback fight.
Yeah, like meaning after he loses this one.
For Jake's comeback fight.
You think Eddie would be down?
For money.
Could you imagine?
I know. I'd happily negotiate with Nikisa.
Tony Bellew has been very vocal about his concerns regarding a Joshua versus Paul showdown. He believes the fight is a huge mismatch from the start. In his view, Joshua's size, power, and experience are so far ahead that Jake would be walking into serious danger. Bellew also sees the whole thing as mostly a money-making spectacle, warning that Paul could be putting his health at risk just for a massive payday. While Bellew doesn't think the fight would damage Joshua's legacy much, he insists that if it does happen, Joshua would completely dictate how long it lasts. To him, the matchup feels more like a circus event than a true, competitive sporting contest.
I don't believe a single thing until literally I see them in a ring together. He was supposed to fight Gervonta Davis, wasn't he? Who's 5 stone lighter and is it 5 stone lighter and 8 inches shorter. So I don't believe anything. Until they're in a ring together, I don't believe nothing.
Obviously, AJ was meant to fight in an 8-rounder. I think Eddie said to me earlier against
an 8-rounder.
Yeah, okay. Against a top 120 opponent on BoxRec that none of us would have heard of. Okay. Just a kind of confidence, go and get a knockout type victory. I suppose you can go and do that against Jake Paul and earn an absolute fortune from
Listen, I've said before and I'll say it again. Boxing is a brutal business. Go and make as much as you can, as quick as you can. Once you've achieved your dream and goals of becoming a world champion, there's nothing left to do besides make money. What are you chasing? You've won all the belts. You know, I think he's missing a WBC, I think that's about it. Go and get the belts and that's it. Move on.
Do you believe it should be sanctioned?
What I believe doesn't matter.
No, but I'm just curious.
What I believe doesn't matter because some governing body will. Of course. Or some sanctioning body will. Some
the Florida State
organisation. Yeah, absolute maniacs. But you know, that's another argument. That's another cause. It's like the one I heard Chris Eubank Senior talking about on the radio the other day. You're talking about safety of fighters. Champ, you were the worst for it. You went up to cruiserweight when you were super middleweight and didn't do it once but twice. And then you're saying people should have saved you from yourself. No, that's why we're fighters. So it's boxing. We know what we sign up for. We know what goes on.
A lot of analysts believe it would actually be embarrassing for Anthony Joshua if he doesn't stop Jake Paul early. Many experts view this as such a one-sided matchup that anything short of a dominant knockout in the opening rounds could reflect badly on Joshua. If he fails to put Jake away quickly, it might raise questions about his sharpness and status. Is this a serious competitive fight, or is it something else?
Proper fight, is it? Well, here's some proper talk then. If Anthony Joshua doesn't knock out Jake Paul within 6 minutes, it's embarrassing. Not only for him, but also for the sport of boxing. And if he does knock him out within 6 minutes, because it's a proper fight, boxing better pray that there's no lasting damage to Jake Paul. The phrase, fuck around and find out, springs to mind. This is not a game. You don't play boxing. Especially not with a 2-time unified heavyweight world champion in his athletic prime. If you're gonna deal with clowns...
Johnny Nelson summed it up by saying AJ is basically stuck in a no-win situation. If Jake Paul manages to last the distance, people will start questioning Joshua's performance and intentions. Critics argue that a seasoned heavyweight like Joshua should be able to dispatch Paul without much trouble. If the fight ends up being long, close, or even slightly competitive, it undermines the idea that this is an easy payday rather than a real test. Nelson insists that Joshua has to treat it like a proper fight, nothing less.
It's going to be a proper fight.
I do believe it because AJ's involved, and I think AJ'd struggle to. He's going to take enough flack over this, but again, it's money talk. So I think AJ will struggle because it is an no-win situation. If he goes in there and Jake Paul lasts the distance, what does he tell you about AJ? Apart from he's just earned an extra 15 million quid. If he goes there and struggles with Jake Paul, then what to say about AJ? Your heydays are well and truly over. If he goes in there and knocks him out, then okay, that's to be expected. So the glory, there's probably not much glory in it, apart from the haters of Jake Paul to say, right, I've got rid of this kid. I think it's very brave of Jake Paul. So now the problem child has got us to believe this fight's actually happening. So now you've got our attention. So now you've got to back up the boast. It's not about, you're not playing tiddlywink. This is the only game you can't play. You can play football, golf, tennis, you can't play.
Nelson did, however, give Jake Paul credit for his business IQ, calling him a genius in the way he's branded and marketed himself. But when it comes to his actual boxing level, Nelson has his doubts. He sees Paul as a decent, domestic-level fighter who is somehow earning world champion money without climbing the usual ladder of years in the gym and a long professional resume. In Nelson's eyes, Jake's biggest weapon isn't elite boxing ability, it's his promotional power and huge online influence.